I should probably see if I can get my comments as they show up. But just in case my platform doesn't work, because I've tried Restream before, and I am hoping that this will work just good. Give me a second. Frank Lavinia is live. Hey, it's actually working. Imagine that. Awesome. So I'm coming to you from the Nebuchadnezzar in the Matrix. As you can see, I have my my monitor set up. Somebody at work suggested I put that screensaver in. My name is Frank Lavinia, as you can tell from the fancy lower third that's there. I am here to wish you a good Monday and hope things are well. Just mostly wanted to test this out. We have fancy overlays here. I need to create one. Ooh, there you go. Live restream. If you have any comments, let me know. I am here to just give you some encouragement for the week. Microsoft's fiscal year starts anew on July 1st. I'm trying to do more live streams, ultimately, is what I'm trying to do. Because I think that as long as I can add value, I think there's a lot of folks who have been displaced by COVID in their careers. And I think there's a huge opportunity to help people. I was in a similar situation after 9/11, and now I'm in a position, been blessed, whatever attribute you want to ascribe to it, to whoever or whatever you want to ascribe to it, where I'm in a position now where I can help people learn. And I think that is, I'm slowly discovering, I think that's my true calling. If you do go to franksworld.com, let's see if I can get that up on the screen. You'll see that the mission statement there, if you will, is helping developers get excited about data science, and that's Latin for knowledge is power. Yesterday or Friday, I did a whole thing on how do I get so many blog posts in a month. Right, so right now for June it's 140, but if you go back all the way to January 2019, it's been 100 or more. I think the lowest being 105. And I talked about how to do that, and if you're interested, I'd be happy to do that again. But today is about coming up with kind of what my longer term strategy is here for LinkedIn Live. I'm also, if Restream is to be believed, I'm also casting this to data-driven Facebook page on live. Let's see if I can turn off the graphic there. So you see that I have that. Totally lost my train of thought. This is the challenge of doing this stuff live. So I'm also doing this on Facebook Live, and I have no idea if the comment. So I have this program finally working, and I figured I would do a nice little live stream. And modern day tech, hey, how's it going? That comment coming from YouTube. And modern day tech is a neighbor of mine. He runs a YouTube channel and Instagram. Really cool stuff where he reviews various technology gadgets and stuff like that. You should totally check him out. And he's got some good stuff there. But one of the things I kind of had this moment of understanding or clarity, if you will, that this is a time while to really upskill. If you're not in technology, I want to be a welcoming force. I want to help you get going. There are others that can teach you web development, but I'm the guy that's going to help you get into data science and AI, because I think increasingly data is going to power our world and our businesses. It's clearly going to impact our lives. It is the new oil, if you will. And I think that this is an excellent platform to do that. And yeah, that's all I got. So if you have questions about data science and stuff, I have a couple of interesting books. If you're new to coding, I highly recommend picking up something like this. Nice and thin book, and it shows you how to use Python. Python is a programming language to make mobile games. You can also do lots of data science stuff. This is actually interesting. I want to get my son into this, writing a kind of an interactive graphic novel with that. Yeah, so there's that. If you're really into the AI world, this is also a good book. Basically talking about deep reinforcement learning. If you have no idea what that means, I'll explain it. Deep learning is a technique where you stack a bunch of, call them neurons together. Basically, it's meant to simulate the brain, right? This neuron connects to this neuron. Although you wouldn't guess it, humans have billions of brain cells. But what really makes them powerful is the connections they make in between them. So they have tens of trillions of connections between them. Ultimately, that's what gives people their consciousness and their intelligence. But even kind of self-aware creatures have it. Flies, right? They have a neural network of sorts. If you're impatient, you can look up previous LinkedIn Lives that I've done where I have explained in detail kind of how a neural network works. I will be doing a talk next month on Azure Data Fest, AI Fest, where I will discuss that in detail. I also have a couple of articles in the now defunct, unfortunately, MSDN magazine. But basically, reinforcement learning is a mashup of two different techniques. You can't see what I'm holding because, I'm sorry about that. Thank you, Zachary. Let me shut off my screen sharing. All right. Is that better? I just realized I'm 30 seconds ahead. And allergies are killing me today, so I'm itching my eyes. So Foundations of Deep Reinforcement Learning. This is a good book. Deep learning is a technique. Reinforcement is a technique. This is the combination of the two. So reinforcement learning is the idea. Well, ultimately, deep learning mimics how animals learn in the sense of how their neurons are structured. Reinforcement learning mimics how animals learn, kind of just the practice of it. So the value there is you don't program a program to play chess, right? You teach it that if you move this part, you get a reward. If you capture the king, you get the ultimate reward and that you win. Now, I know it takes some leap of faith to say, well, how would you reward or punish a computer program? But trust me, it works. And if there's interest, let me know in the chat on whatever platform you're on. I do read the comments, and I'd be happy to kind of do a talk on what reinforcement learning is. I even have a couple of sample code where the code actually learns, right? So given a bank of slot machines or virtual slot machines, the code actually learns which one has the highest payout ratio. It's pretty cool, actually. So it's just amazing what's possible in terms of building these programs, these mathematical models, if you will. And so I have a number of ideas for here, but if you have ideas, if there's a technology you want to learn or you hear something and you want to know more about it, that's what I'm here for. That's what Andy and I are here for. Andy has Twitch. Andy's my podcast co-host. I can't talk today. My podcast co-host. And, he's doing a lot of work on Azure Data Factory, ETL, which is extract, transform, and load. It's basically how data engineers move one part to another. But if there's value, I'd be happy to do kind of what kind of careers would you have in data? I'd be happy to do something like that. So with that, I want to thank you. If you're watching this live, I want to thank you for being on the stream. And Eric, if you want to do kind of a collab, that'd be cool. I got fancy graphics and animations and stuff like that. I'm going to try to incorporate them into my LinkedIn Live. I'm also an After Effects geek, so I can do really cool special effects stuff. Don't really know what to do with them, but I can make them, right? That's the true engineer, right? I can do cool stuff. I don't know what exactly I'm going to do. And with that, I'm going to sign off. I want to thank you very much for being on the feed. If you have ideas, if you want to be interviewed, right? If you're trying to convince a guy I work with who's a data warehousing guru to kind of come on and talk about data warehousing, right? He has a background, and I was talking today about having him on the podcast proper. But if you take a look at data-driven, it's like there we go. The domain name is datadriven.tv, right? So our vision, Andy and I's vision for this was always for it to be a video podcast. Now, I'm not saying we're going to ditch the audio. That's not going to happen at all. But I think with the advent of technology making this easier, we could certainly incorporate video, online learning, training, and stuff like that much more easily than we could even 3 years ago. The technology is really advanced. In fact, this here is not through my my homebrew TriCaster, if you will. This is through the browser. So, I mean, that's just incredible, and that speaks to how far this technology has come. All right, so I could ramble for hours, and in fact, my wife will tell you that I will. But with that, I want to say thank you for watching. If you're watching this live, and if you're watching this later, thank you. Let me know in the comments below if there's any topics you'd like to cover. And with that, I will bid you all farewell.